Greetings, space farmers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Volcanea, Episode 2, Hydroponic Farming. There we go. Running on that wheel. Looks like greenhouse is going to win, so we can start into basic farming. So basic farming will unlock the algae terrarium, which produces algae with, consumes algae to produce oxygen, removing some carbon dioxide, and gets a little boost from light. A planter box, a ration box, which I already start with one, and compost, which is good for our composting toilets. But that's probably just the first step of actual greenhouse, so there's more to be added, for sure. So who's my researcher again? I gotta look at that. Researching was Fangface. So now Fangface is on the research station, trying to get us some greenhousey things. Cool. Build a greenhouse. I am going to make the decision to have my greenhouse here, maybe? Maybe a little bit higher up. Maybe in this spot here. Yeah, I'll build it here. Above the printing pod by quite a few floors. So here, Glitch is running on the wheel, topping up the battery. For the battery, anytime we reach a threshold of 50% or less, it will sort of trigger until it's full again. And we're almost done getting researched. Or, the basic farming research. So basic farming is likely not going to be enough. Actually, to build a greenhouse, I would need all the way to a farm station, which requires an advanced research station, which we'll get to. But I do have a question for you. So there is a few different things that we can farm in terms of farming, and you guys can pick what you think is going to be best. But before I do anything else, I'm going to stick some pneumatic doors and have compost back here. I'm trying to think if that's going to be the ideal place for it, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. So the other thing that we might want for farming is lights, ceiling lights. So I'll get interior decor just for farming lights, because some things require light, some things don't. So things that we could grow. Bristle blossom is an edible plant if we have blossom seeds. So I could run around and dig up the bristle blossoms and then cultivate it into into my own farm. Or we could do millwood. Millwood is... So bristle blossoms are a little bit more temperature fussy, and they do require illumination, but they're tastier. So they thrive in an atmosphere of oxygen, polluted oxygen, or carbon dioxide. They do require water. They require a certain amount of temperature where it isn't too hot. And then need to be in a farm plot. They do produce floral scent. And then bristleberries. And then we could also do millwood. Millwood is more simple, but maybe not as tasty. So millwood has the same temperature tolerance, but does not require water. So it is just dirt per cycle. And it creates mill lice. So what to farm? Millwood or bristle blossom. So one requires a little bit of plumbing, and the other does not. Like, bristle blossom is a little bit more complicated, but maybe a better long-term food because of the morale bonuses. And then millwood is simpler, but, ain't nobody gonna be happy kind of deal. And I don't really care either way. They'll both work for me. Oh, and something to print. So, farming, digging, germ-resistant, bottomless stomach, and squeamish, digging, a care package of Joya seeds or fertilizer. I'm gonna go with Joya seeds. I don't really need new duplicants, and these duplicants don't appeal to me all that much. So, we'll just get some pretty seeds. Very simple. Zero, thank you for the resub, and Highland Timber 2. Cheers. So, did we research... No, interior decor is still to be researched. But we are starting to get the compost bins, as these houses will eventually need to get mucked out and then composted. How am I so good in this game? Oh god, I'm not. Don't say that. There's pressure. Too much pressure. I am not good at this game. I haven't played it in 14 months, and I've probably forgotten more than I used to know. It's one of those, like, I'm barely surviving. Oh, you guys are idle, huh? No, it's your downtime. Okay, cool. So, let's go with Bristle Blossom farming. That's going to be slightly more complicated, but that's okay. So, in order to build a Bristle Blossom farm, let me just explain sort of what's going to be involved. Because the Bristle Blossoms do require water, well, let's look at the requirements again, right? So they require water per cycle, and they require light. So we're going to need to supply both light and water to them, and that means the most obvious way to do this is through a hydroponic farm, where we plumb in the water rather than, you know, the manual through a planter box or something like that. So in order to get that going, we're going to want to research agriculture. And then in order to research agriculture, we're also going to need advanced research, because our basic computer won't be able to do it. So there's a lot of moving parts, and then it will also require some plumbing and likely some water filtration systems as well. We're already getting to the mine exploding part of this game, but that's okay. So still, the first thing I want to do is to build the, or to research interior decor, and then I'll start to research the other things required for a Bristle Blossom farm. Can you provide light with the bugs? Yeah, I could try to capture the bugs, these shine bugs. The only issue with the shine bug is they're pretty unreliable, you know, where they shine. So you can try to capture them and throw them into your Bristle Blossom farms, but if they, you know, as they drift around, they're gonna generate very unpredictable levels of light, or lux, and it might be more frustrating than it's worth doing. Okay, so we now have your interior decor, which gives us the ceiling light, which we'll eventually put like up here to shine down on the farm. So let's go ahead and get advanced research, employment, which is the water cooler and crafter station, but then advanced research, because that's what we're going to really need most. You've played 600 hours and you still haven't made it into space? You start over too much? Yes, I think you probably do, because I have less hours than that and I've made it to space. I mean, I'm not trying to flex on you, but I have like maybe 400 hours in this game, but I've made it to space like 3 or 4 times. It's one of those, like, there's, just as like a high level, as you get better at the game, you realize that there's like a certain meta and efficiency to the game. You know, the same as like any supply game, right? And if you're constantly reevaluating what you've already built to design it better, you keep hitting a point in the game where like, oh, I could have done this better, and then you start back over. Oh, I could have done this better, you start back over. Sometimes it's better just to like ride with your mistakes, unless they're like unsurvivable. You know, if you flood your colony full of magma. Okay, yeah, it's time to restart. But yeah, a lot of the times I would say it's better just to ride out your mistakes for the sake of actually making further progress than you've ever made before than just to constantly restart. But I get you. I understand from the other point of view 100%. I feel you there. I think I'm going to make the decision to... No. Yeah, maybe I'll put storage here. It's not, like, great, because the storage bins are only 2 high, and this is a 4 high area. But it leaves room for, like, plumbing and things. For later on. Okay, we just researched employment, so we'll go to advanced research next. So that's a crafting station, which I'm not going to need just yet, and the water cooler, which is for that would be for if I was trying to build like a recreation room or something like that. I have to pause the game. Yeah. Which is a pretty easy bonus to get early on, but I'm not going to need it just yet. So, as much cringe as it might be for most players, these are just going to be universal bins for now until I have a better organizational system. Is there any reason I didn't put the research by the free pod? Yeah, I want a dedicated room for it eventually, so I put it over here. I don't like the infinity hole for materials now. It's not something I've ever done. I feel like part of the game is actually dealing with the supplying of your supply chain, so dumping everything into like a one infinity hole seems... Yeah, I mean, it's a viable solution, of course, but it's ignoring part of the strategy. At least in my opinion, but I could go either way. It's not how I play. So how far are we into advanced research? Already 12 out of 20, not bad. We've got some Drecos here, which are usable. You can ranch them for fabrics and plastics, provided you have hydrogen gas. Trying to see what else we've got. Buddy buds, fungal spores. This water's warm? Yeah. An enormous part of this game is just trying to exploit the resources around you efficiently. So you just roll with what you got. There's some sort of structure here. This is obsidian tiles, which indicates it's some pre-made, you know, point of interest, but it could just be nothing. Sometimes it's like a vending machine with like a granola bar in it. Other times it's actually special. That will provide you a huge bonus. It's really hard to tell which will be which. Alright, germs haven't gotten out, which is good. Research station is underway. And just sort of waiting for... Oh, there we go. Oxalate finally decayed. At some point, I'm going to need to address the whole, like, I'm not actually producing oxygen, but at least for now, it's fairly breathable. What I would do eventually is to have an oxygen diffuser hooked up to the battery, but I'm going to wait as long as I can for that. Oh! A wheel got entombed. Certain stuff like sand will be affected by gravity, whereas like most things aren't. So if you dig and you undig sand, it will entomb you. So we did get advanced research, good, and we have a supercomputer, good. So if we want a supercomputer, put that right there. Supercomputer off of one tiny little battery. Such a bad idea. But before we even bother with that, we're going to need some plumbing for the water, and then eventually we'll work our way up to agriculture. Get a little this dig. Nope, dig. Please dig that out. You can't use the manual generator if it's entombed. Oh, Glitch, you earned a skill point. Look at you, being all fancy. So, Glitch leveled up. He is our digging constructor. So you can see the things that he particularly likes to do, indicated in hearts. And I'm going to make him better at digging. Because certain materials can only be dug by individuals that have really high level digging. So if you want to ever be able to dig tough to dig stuff, here is an indication of that. 1 star requires like digging, and then these tiles are actually too hard for him to dig yet because it requires super hard digging. So it's important to get that kind of early on, more than building, because like there isn't a building level requirement for your duplicates. As they level up, they do require a high level morale. So as your duplicates get better at stuff, they will expect a higher standard of living. But here's Glitch with his brand new digging helmet. Glitch, you are our diggy dwarf, I just realized. Can't say that that was on purpose, but I do like how that worked. How do you get new pawns? The printing pod will print them up periodically. So the next print is in 1 cycle, or like 1 day. And I can choose between multiple types of things to print. The way I tend to play is I will pick only the duplicates that I think are the most ideal, rather than just like rolling with whatever I can get. Rolling with whatever you can get will give you much faster progress speed, because obviously more hands make more work in a shorter period of time. So if you just print out any old duplicate that you get, you'll get a lot more work done, but then you have to deal with less than ideal duplicates. So I fare on the side of being choosy. Here we go, Fangface leveling up, and I'm going to give him advanced research. Give him the little advanced research hat for him to don. And Chimmick should be following shortly, I'd imagine. So there's our supercomputer. And we just got basic plumbing done. So let's start heading towards agriculture, because that's what you guys voted on. Now, I don't have any plumbing systems yet, and I'm going to need plumbing systems like pumps and the like, which require a lot more power. You know, as you add stuff to your colony, obviously your power needs are going to go up and up and up. Get to a point where it becomes challenging to supply what they need. But I should be able to get a bristle blossom farm without, you know, too much bells and whistles. And the other thing I'm going to need to do is to seek out the bristle blossoms that are around the map tile to actually be able to plant them. I'm going to want like 11, I think. So, oh, and then there goes Chimmick. Chimmick, we can give you improved farming. That wouldn't be terrible. I think probably it might be better to get improved carrying to help to tidy up, though. Tusk, come here. So eventually what this will look like is will be like a liquid pump somewhere down here, pumping water through hydroponic tiles with a light above the hydroponic tiles to feed the bristle blossoms the light they require. Something along those lines. Here, Tusk. Peanut for you. Peanut for Mr. Yoda. But I wouldn't mind getting a proper laboratory set up, so I want to get that built. There we go. Now more blossom seeds. More blossom seeds? Yep. Okay, so this isn't a laboratory because it doesn't have a light source. So that's all that is missing. Build that next. And here Chimmick is trying to like tidy up all the random garbage that is strewn about everywhere. Which will eventually be really good for morale and beauty and decor and all that. But for now it's just a lot of work. So, this is a laboratory. It has an efficiency bonus. I actually don't even know what the efficiency bonus is because I think that's a new thing that I've never played with. But cool, I guess. Nice. I like it. Now, the light does produce heat and use up power. I wonder if I can just disable it and then get rid of the needs. There. It will probably disable the fact that it's a laboratory, but that's fine. I don't really need the extra efficiency bonus because we're making progress just fine. So we just got meal prep. Meal prep gives us the electric grill, egg cracker, mess table, and farm tile. But we're pushing towards hydroponic farm tiles instead. No one's flicking that thing off. Could you? Someone, please? I think that's just an issue of priority of toggling. So I'm going to have toggling be very high for everybody, so someone will toggle it. Thank you, Chimmick. And, hey, I kept my bonus. Cool. So, as long as I own a light, it's apparently good enough. Love it. Count me as enlightened. Alright, so here's another chance for another dupe. We've got water, farming and supplying, interior decorator who doesn't do medicine, suit wearing, digging, cooking, with iron gut so they never get food poisoning, bowl hands so they're even better at digging, but they can't construct very well, or someone that just tidies up a lot. I think I'm just going to go with the care package water for now. Until I have the capacity to care for more dupes. I think adding dupes without being able to, like, feed the dupes. Because I still don't have a, you know, food source or anything like that, it's probably a bad idea. Okay, scheduled downtime. So I ought to start thinking about plumbing. That's another complexity with the bristle blossoms. So I'm going to need to pump water to them, but eventually I'm going to need to be able to deal with wastewater as well. So the water that I just got from the print, I can dump that water, because it's fresh water, into my pool of water that I'm not doing anything with yet. But at some point I'm going to want to run a tank with wastewater and a tank with fresh water, and then to keep them separate, and then to chlorinate the wastewater and degerm the wastewater to make sure that it is safe to drink for water recycling. Because there's a finite amount of water. You're given a whole lot at the start of the game, but you run through it pretty quickly if you're wasteful, especially. So that is something I'm going to have to incorporate while designing this, I think. So over here, I can say dump water in to this pool, because I did print some water, and we can start just adding to our pool of water. Like that. Because the water that I got through the printing pod was clean. So there's no threat there. Gotta run that wheel. And slowly things are getting tidied up. I'm not really telling them to tidy anything specifically. They're just going wherever they go. So we have all of the novice research done for agriculture, and now we're getting the advanced research on the supercomputer. Where would I even see the speed bonus as a result of it being in a laboratory, though? I'm not even sure where that would be displayed. Beats me. All I know is it's a proper lab. My kcals have been sitting at about 22k. If I really need to, I could run around and get the buried muck root, or to dig up the buried object things, because sometimes they're going to be food edibles. You think it's on the dupe? I don't see anything resembling that. So, because often it's like if you mouse over it, but I don't see anything included in the whole, this is a laboratory, it works faster. And let me look at the bonus again. Science buildings built in the laboratory function more efficiently. A laboratory enables a geotuner and mission control stations. Okay, it just says more efficiently. I don't know. Whatever. It's not like I'm going to unbuild the lab because I don't know the bonus. It's like, all right, it's a bonus. I don't know what it is, but it's good enough for me. For the pipe that I'm going to need, or the plumbing and all that, I'm going to want copper. So let's go start to mine copper specifically. There's a lot of copper out here. I don't want to mess with the water that I have too much, though. So if I'm, you know, I don't want to displace this water because I need it to be usable. So we'll just, we'll cherry pick the copper that I can get and build ourselves a little copper liquid pump. What are those floating lights on the right? They're a bug. They're shine bugs. They're little bugs that make light. The wiki says 10% efficiency bonus. Cool. Thank you, wiki. The dupe status had lab on it that should have showed the efficiency. I'll take a look. So we just got the agriculture done. That gives me access to the hydroponic farm plot. And I'm trying to think of what else I'm going to absolutely need for setting up greenhouse. I mean, things that would be nice to have would be like coal power and things like that, but I don't need them. So apart from that, liquid filters and sanitization is probably going to be pretty soon. Same with the water sieve, probably pretty soon. Improved plumbing, definitely soon. So I'll probably go to that in the plumbing route. To improve plumbing, distillation, and sanitization. So you... Oh, lab workspace. Yeah, there it is. 10% speed. There's the bonus. So here, we're going to want hydroponic farm tiles instead of... Was that 11? Nope, that's not how to count. No, that's 10. So, I did it wrong. Deconstruct. Hey, John Banshee, thank you for the resub. Oh, you know what? There's also one other thing that I'm going to want. Probably sooner than later, which is the tiles that don't block light. There's actually a lot. I mean, most of this research I'm going to want eventually. I could probably manage without that tile for now. So here is the hydroponic farm tiles that will require liquid intakes. I will put the pump here because this is the lowest point in the water. Unfortunately, it'll have me digging up some oxalate, so maybe I'll put it here. It means that some poor dupe is gonna have to hold their breath, but you know, it ain't me. It's gonna be glitch, isn't it? So we got some liquid filtration research done. Nice. I'm going to plop the farm station here. That allows you to crop tend if you want to crop tend. You don't have to in order to get the benefits of farming. You can just like leave them, but tended crops are, you know, faster or whatever. Let me design this a little bit better. I have a ladder here. And then the farm station. The other thing I need to worry about is like the total area, because farms can only be so large, so I might need to trim down the footprint of this, but we'll see. Something like that. So there's all the hydroponic farm plots. I didn't measure this out, so I might need to make some changes. But something looking like that. Ooh, we got some stress. Probably from, yeah, it's Chimmick because he was in the deep water. He did not appreciate it. And that right there is the liquid pump that will bring all the lovely water to where we need it to go. Very straightforward for now. And these ladders are just to allow this section to be built. Otherwise, the dupes wouldn't be able to actually physically get there. K-cows are going down a little bit. I'm going to dig up some muckroot to supplement. I don't think it's going to be an issue immediately. Just trying to get ahead of starvation. Like you do. And what am I currently researching? Improved plumbing. Cool. So I've got 6 blossom seeds, and I can go hunting around for some more. There's like bristle blossoms up here that I can grab. There's some here that I can grab. So we'll be able to probably fill up the farm once the farm is ready to go. It is getting kind of carbon dioxide-y down there, though. Chimmick's having to hold his breath a lot while he builds. The very simple way to fix that would be a terrarium. Sticking like a terrarium down here to help gradually convert the carbon dioxide to oxygen using up algae and water. But I usually avoid that step because it is very water wasteful. It will burn through your water supply. But the same could be said of the bristle blossoms, so whatever. Printables. Who we got? Got briar seeds. We got a supply builder operator who's buff, germ resistant, but doesn't cook. That's not a bad dupe. Supply, build, operate. It's not a bad dupe at all. Before I choose that, who is our current operators? We don't... so Fangface has an operation skill of 1, but he doesn't particularly love it. And then Chimmick, you have a -3. The other ones is tidying, operating, farming, and decorating with an early bird. But anemia, hate it, hate it. Never pick anyone with anemia, oh my god. Their run speed gets trashed. Trashed. Yeah, I'm going to probably go with Marie. Which means that we have a raffle. Yeah, it's that one's pretty close to meta dupe, so you know, not gonna pass that up. That'd be stupid too. So let's get another cot for Marie. And then Marie, I'm gonna do your work priorities. So you tidying, toggling, operating, building, supplying, storing. Looks pretty good. You'll never cook, but that's fine. Cool. Yeah, that's a pretty nice dupe. And good luck to the subscribers in the chat. The raffle timer right here is up. Marie will be named after you. After someone. I like how none of them want to go into the water. I don't blame you. Water sucks. So taking a look at her bio again, she's germ resistant, an ugly crier, and a sparkle streaker when she's happy. Okay. Boiler Snake, thank you for the resub. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Volcanea, which originally streamed live on Twitch June 15th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch a next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow duplicants.